Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before. Imagine tuning in to real-time discussions, expert analyses, and fan interactions all at your fingertips. Each platform offers a unique experience, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. We're not just sharing stories, we're creating a community of passionate sports enthusiasts. Join us as we dive deep into the evolution of podcasting, where every episode is a chance to engage, debate, and celebrate the world of sports. This is where your voice matters and the game never stops. Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network, where we're breaking boundaries and redefining podcasting. Broadcasting live on 6 different platforms, we're bringing you the latest in sports like never before, where sports passion meets podcasting brilliance. I'm Mike, the Bear fan, and alongside Bill, the Packer fan, and our buddy Ken Catalone, we're bringing you an incredible lineup of 38 diverse podcasters. Each one brings their unique flavor to the table, covering everything from game analysis to behind-the-scenes stories. Imagine diving deep into the minds of experts who live and breathe football, sharing insights that you won't find anywhere else.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to WCFL DolFans Talk. Hope everyone's having a wonderful morning. It's a beautiful morning here in Brooksville, Florida. Let's see how the weather is up in Jersey with Mr. Johnny O.
What's up, Papa Paul? How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Not bad. We're in the 40s. So the rain stopped. It's rained the last 2 days, so that stopped. So that's good.
Yeah, I seen that on the weather. You had rain, even a mix of snow in there and stuff.
Snow is further north, up in like upstate New York and stuff, but we had the rain the last 2 days. So
Wow. Well, at least you had a nice, beautiful Sunday morning.
yep, rain stopped. It's still cloudy, but it's decent out, so it's not bad.
Yeah, we're supposed to get up to 90 today.
I think our high is like 48 or something.
Well, I tell you what, this whole Tyreek bit has got everybody in an uproar. They're talking get rid of them.
Well, you're not going to get rid of him because nobody's going to take that contract. So unless you're going to have a bunch of dead cap space money, he ain't going nowhere.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Lennox. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you.
I'm good. I couldn't sleep. I wound up sleeping all through Saturday, and I was up until almost 3:30 in the morning this morning. So yeah,
So I woke you when I tried to
I'm
call.
just like, say again.
He tried to call you because I asked him, is Winners working or is he at home? He goes, I don't know. Let me call him and find out.
No, he did call me. I texted him back. I told him I'd be on in like 5 minutes. So yeah, you were actually my alarm clock call. So, yeah.
Like when you're not looking, so we'll finish every day. I was like, I couldn't keep my food down on tour all the time.
Mm.
So yeah, it's a beautiful. How's the weather there in Philly? There, Winters.
Still gloomy. Still gloomy. It's supposed to clear up today. Supposed to be like 60 degrees today because it rained most of the day yesterday, and it's trying to clear up yesterday. But it was a rainy day, so hopefully we'll have a better day today than it was yesterday. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am so done with this Tyreek Hill bit. As I was telling Johnny about, everybody's wanting to get rid of him now. It's like we can't afford to get rid of him, and no one's going to want that big contract.
true, but in the same sense, though, enough is enough. I get where everybody's coming from. The majority that's saying get rid of them because, dude, like, I understand that we all have real life situations. that we deal with. And but my whole thing is, I just think he's getting a lot of preferential treatment. He has been getting a lot of preferential treatment, and enough is enough. I think the fans is like, is this worth it? Like real rap, and understandably so. Like yeah, nobody is going to take that contract. We all know this. But Miami, like you talking about, you want to change the culture and you want to change certain things. Well, my whole thing is, you got Kendall Lamb here in Philadelphia talking about players just sitting there answering their phones right in the middle of meetings, which he has said, because I did watch the interview. I mean, that's a problem. That is undisciplined like. So, what are
Yeah,
we really doing here? Do we really want to win a championship? Do we really want to go to the playoffs, or are we just running the club med for the NFL?
but here is
So
for them to change that scenario by coming down on Tyreek.
Well, see, the biggest problem with
they
that is,
need to. I think.
well, the biggest problem is
Go ahead.
you're only allowed to fine them so much according to the Players Association agreement with the NFL. So that's the biggest problem is you, as a team, you can only fine them so much for certain infractions, which is, pennies on the dollar. I mean, it's not like it really hurts. So he's late for a meeting and they say, oh, that's a $500 fine. He's like, okay. Answers his phone during a meeting. It's like, that's a $500 fine. He's like, all right, I'll pay it. No problem. I'm making $30 million a year. You think I care about these little fines that are $500, $1,000 here?
Yeah, but this is where they can start if they want to bench them.
That's not going to happen. You kidding? The fans would be in an uproar if Tyreek was benched and not playing. Even if it was, even if McDaniel came out and said, I'm going to bench him for the first quarter for, you know, infractions and this and that, the fans would be going nuts. You're paying them, you got to play them. It's a double edged sword, and he's putting the team in quite a predicament. With all this off field stuff that goes on, whether it's his fault or not, whether it's but he keeps making the news, and that's what's getting the fan base in an uproar. We don't want to hear about it. Now, I
Yeah,
read a
Yeah, we
thing.
don't
I
want to
read a
hear
thing
about
the
it.
other day. It was most arrests in the NFL in Miami was right in the middle of the pack. They weren't tops in the NFL. They weren't in the bottom. They were like right in the middle over the last 5 years.
but if they start making an example of some of these guys, maybe the rest of the guys will follow in suit and start.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say that. It's hard to do just because you only have 17 games. It's not like the NBA or Major League Baseball where they play 80 games, 154 games. You only have 17, and if you start benching guys, yeah, the other guys might step up and produce. They might not. They might fall in line. They might not. I mean, it's the unfortunate part is the culture was started, and now you got to turn it around. Well, how do you turn it around? If it wasn't started from the beginning, you wouldn't be worried about turning anything around.
Yeah. Well, in case you haven't heard,
Correct.
re-signed Kader Kohu finally.
That's good.
Yeah, I didn't see that. When did that happen?
I saw that yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good move. I actually like that move because I'll be honest with you. If you would have let him go, we really would have been in trouble. And another thing is, depth. That's what we're really worried about as a fan base is depth on this roster.
And
So yeah, you need to sign a Cater Code back. You do.
yeah, he's a decent player. I mean, there's others I wish we'd go ahead and do, just like Nick Needham, because he's
Yeah, I
a
don't know what's up with that.
year. A guy that can play different positions is more valuable than a guy that can play just one, even for depth.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so, but we're not there to see all the meetings and the practices and stuff like that. So, how they haven't re-signed Nick is beyond me. But I'm kind of biased. Knowing that we all know his mom and we know him, and we like him, we like his mom, we want him to be around. And to me, he's a good quality player. He could play corner, he could play nickel, he could play safety. But for whatever reason, they don't see the same thing we do, or we don't get to see what they see.
Right.
Yeah. I agree with you. I'm probably a little biased too, but to me, realistically, for depth, positional player, he can back up pretty much, as we said, three different positions there. He can be a backup at least.
Yeah. And he's been in the facility. He knows the people. He knows the coaching. I know a couple of years ago when we had Ramsey and Howard, they said that, he was a good player. He's like their little brother, so he had good rapport in the locker room. From everything we've seen, he's always an upstanding guy. We've never heard his name in anything.
And if anything bad in any way, yeah, he's. We just have to pray and wait and see.
Yep.
We
Absolutely.
have a week from this coming Wednesday, it started the draft. It might just come down to
Yep.
after the draft is over with to see what we got left as far as funds and who else we sign.
Yeah. Plus the post June 1st, obviously, they can still restructure some contracts, free up a little bit of money, see what they got in the draft. And listen, the draft's a crapshoot. You're taking a chance on kids that are coming out of college that have to now up their game and perform in the NFL. What's up, Asher? How are you, brother?
Good morning, Asher.
What's up, Asher?
Scotty. Bill has no more guaranteed money after this year, so the team would basically trade for him and make a new contract.
Yeah, if you got a team that's willing to do that, and Christ,
This, as
yeah,
of now, has pending suspension and the $28 million dead cap Miami would absorb.
yeah, and that's another thing the NFL needs to work on. If a guy gets suspended for outside activities that have nothing to do with football, the team shouldn't have to suffer with the cap space. They should be like, all right, yeah, he's not playing, you're not paying him, so you can use that money elsewhere. Why should any team? I don't care what team it is. There's 32 teams. If you get a guy who gets suspended for things outside of football, you should be able to use that money and sign a free agent or, an undrafted free agent or something and use it because you're not paying him.
It's a good idea, but it's
If it's football related, yeah, you take the hit. You get a guy suspended for, doing PEDs or illegal hits to the head or, something like that, and it's football related. Yeah, I can see you take the hits. He's suspended, but if it's a suspension for something that's got nothing to do with football, I don't understand how the NFL hasn't looked at that.
yeah.
Right.
What's up, Steve? How are you, brother?
What's up? How you guys doing?
Good. Are you driving?
That's probably my fan.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a window's open.
No, I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
So what's life looking like for Green Bay with the upcoming draft?
What's that?
What's life looking like for Green Bay with the upcoming draft?
In Green Bay, for the years.
Well, yeah.
What was that?
Oh, that was background noise.
Oh, okay. Well, like I was listening to you guys talk about, the Tyreek Hill being traded and whatever, and there's so many rumors out there of like where he's going. Like I know we was one of the team I saw the rumors on. But I mean, we talked about this, I think, like the last couple of weeks. We talked about if he would go, if, like I said, would we trade Jair Alexander and maybe Romeo Dobbs and whatever else to Miami for Tyreek Hill. You know, there's so many speculations and concepts with that, and so
Yeah, there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts about all of it.
I mean, Green Bay, they like the big receivers. Like, they want the guys that's like hitting from like 6'4", 6'5",
Yeah,
and stuff like that. Now Tyreek Hill has that speed, like whatever that, which is nice. But seats, you need it, it's just not all about speed. Like
I agree with you. You get a 5'11" player that's got speed is great, but when you have a 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" player that has speed, just agility, not necessarily full amount of speed like Tyreek Hill, to me, they're going to be better off because they got the reach and the height advantage.
well, and also another thing is this. What would what was his character be like? What's his personality? Like would he bring problems to Green Bay with all of his antics and whatever? Because he's got like 10 kids now. He's got so much child support to pay, and
He's got about 12 or 13 kids now. He was at 11 last year.
yeah, and that's like another thing. What I say about Alexander. If we keep him, and if he has a clear mind on, this is where he wants to be, because I don't want a player here that does not want to be here.
Yeah,
I don't want that. I was like that back when I was young, when I played sports. If you wasn't serious and whatever, I don't want you. Don't waste my time.
mm-hmm.
And so forth and stuff like that. That's just the main concept of it, is how serious are you, about it. I mean, you got to be. It's like this. The Eli Manning trade, when he was drafted and he didn't want to play in San Diego. Like, dude, man, you was just a first round pick. You should be thankful and grateful for that.
Yeah.
And you went crying to your daddy or whatever. I don't want to play. Why? What? You wanted to go to New York because their colors kind of resembled Ole Miss's colors. I mean, they did. If you actually look at it, they kind of do resemble Ole Miss's colors, and so forth, whatever. But see, these guys today have. I mean, if you look at us, if we had the ability that they had to be in the NFL and playing and making the money they're playing, their life is set. Their life is set to get to be able to do something like this and make all that kind of money. When there's guys out here like, whatever, they're working their ass off, working in mills or whatever else, and whatever, not making that kind of money. And these guys get to do a fun thing, like a great thing to play football, and they have these certain type of attitudes to where they think they're bigger than the sport, and they're not.
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, you guys might know more about what Tyreek Hill is doing in Miami to where they want to trade him, or like I said, if he's tired, if he doesn't want to be there, then they need to get rid of him.
Good morning, Russell Hotman.
Yo, Russell, what's going on, brother?
What's going on, fellas? How you guys doing today?
Hey, Russell.
What's
Good,
going on,
man.
my brother?
We're above ground and upright. That's all that matters.
Yes, sir. It's pouring rain out here.
But yeah, like I said, if Hill doesn't really want to be in Miami, then Miami should do whatever they can to get rid of him.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to be here or not. There's no telling what it seems.
Well, the last interview we seen him, he was saying that he wants to be here and He apologized to Tua, and he said all the right things for PR reasons. My whole thing is, gentlemen, I'll say this, and I'm gonna say this straight up. We'll see in over the summer. We'll see in training camp. We'll see in all this, and we'll see how it plays out. You know,
Well, we have less than a month to go before the schedule comes out. We got just over a
when
week,
does the schedule come out?
like the second week of May.
Because now,
Okay.
there's I see these rumors and talk that we might end up making a trade with the Steelers for TJ Watt. Which,
Great, I'd take TJ Watt.
well, you know what? The year that I was pissed off, we could have had TJ Watt. We could have had him because right there at the pick, I think it was pick 29, 30, whatever it was sitting right there, and we traded. We traded out whatever. And I was pissed. I was freaking pissed. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And so forth. But now, like I said, I don't know if you could believe these rumors and stuff. You got stuff popping all over YouTube about, because there's the Trey Hendrickson things coming back up. But I think we'll be more obliged to make a trade for TJ Watt than we would Hendrickson, even though I think Hendrickson led the league last year in sacks, 17 and a half, I think it was. But still. Now they said that we
on Hill. Hill wants to be with any team that would guarantee him money for half this season.
As I said, I think they said we would give up our first pick, number 23, and another pick somewhere. I can't remember what it was. Whatever for TJ Watt, but I don't know. I mean, if we did that, I would, for a guy like TJ Watt, I wouldn't mind giving up the first pick, because if we're looking for another edge rusher, I mean, I would give the first, another pick, and maybe Eric Barre, or I don't know. I don't know if they would even throw Alexander in there. I don't know if they would do that or not, because I know they wouldn't mind sending Alexander up in the AFC. I don't think they would want him, because I mean, we still got to pay Pittsburgh this year anyway, but that's one game.
But did you forget about the big part of that question? You still got to pay TJ Watt, so you're going to pay him $45 to $50 million a year.
Well, right.
I don't think that's happening in Green Bay.
Well, like I said, I'm sure they could somehow make it work. I don't know, whatever and stuff.
I highly doubt it. I'd rather go I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'd rather go the youth movement. I mean, you got draft picks. I mean, of course, there's no TJ Watt, but I mean, do you really want to strap your team with one salary? Listen, we're already going through salary hell as Dolphin fans. Well, yeah. I don't need to remind anybody of that. Well, and the sad part about that is we still got Phillips is going to be coming up for a new deal. At some point they're going to say, hey, we need to do this. We still got Bradley Chubb. Everybody thinks, oh, he took low money, still getting paid that money. Same thing when Armstead had left. Everybody was like, oh, he did us a favor. Yeah, he did us a favor, but they're still going to pay him. Nobody's going from $30 million to $2 million, and that's okay. So you're going to lose $28 million. That ain't happening.
Well, you know what? This is where I think differently than most. Like you said, in the drafts go for youth. There's no TJ Watt, but you know what? We don't know that.
Yeah, you don't.
Because the thing is, nobody knew when TJ was getting drafted. No one that in the NFL, this isn't college anymore. Nobody knew that TJ Watt would be this TJ Watt. Nobody knew Tom Brady, pick 6th round, pick 199, was going to win 7 Super Bowls.
Yeah, we don't want to bring that guy up on this show.
Oh, right. I understand. But you see what I'm saying? Everybody think, well, there's,
Absolutely.
They're like look at John Randall. Look at John Randall. That was for the Viking years ago. He was an undrafted free agent.
Oh, the good part about that is we can sit here till we're blue in the face, whether it's
Uh-huh.
Papa Paul, whether it's you, my brother, whether it's Saul, whoever comes on the show. It's all conjecture. We're
Right.
hoping, we're hoping, we're hoping. You never know. I mean, everything is like a horse and pony show right now. Well, in a few weeks, first round, Thursday the 24th, we're all going to sit here and we can sit till, like I said, we're blue in the face. We want this guy. We all have needs. Every team knows what we need. As fans, we can say, well, we want this, we want that. But, they're going to disappoint us in some shape, size, or form.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be sitting here screaming at the TV. Listen, I got a brand new 72-inch TV. And the first thing my girl said is, don't throw nothing at the TV during the draft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because, there's always something stupid that happens. There's always something that you're like, really? And
Well,
there's going to be guys that you're going to be, I'm guaranteeing this, in the top 10, there's going to be 3 head scratches in the top 10 where people are going to be like, what? So it's possible maybe the guy that your team originally thought they weren't going to get, may trade back, may trade up. I'm guaranteeing it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm with you on that. It's like the last so many years I went over after the drafts were over, like I watched the Bears when they drafted, like the guys, when they drafted Justin Fields, they was all excited. They was all excited when they drafted Justin Fields or whatever, and look what happened and so forth. Like they was like, yeah, we got a quarterback, yeah, whatever. And then next boom.
Hey, I could give you a classic example of the draft. The year, not exactly too sure on the actual date and year, but it was the year that Randy Moss fell in the draft. We still had Dan Marino, and he fell, and he was 2 spots from us. And they kept saying on the show, the Dolphins are going to trade up, and they're going to get Randy Moss because they needed a receiver. And you remember who the Dolphins drafted that year?
No.
John Avery. He was 85-pound running back, first rounder from University of Mississippi.
My high school played against Randy Moss in the state championship.
West Virginia.
Yep.
And just think about that. We had to get Randy Moss, every team, because they were saying, oh, he was in trouble in college, and I ended up breaking a TV that day. And it started from there, where I had a bad habit of throwing shit at the screen. So let's just say we didn't get Randy Moss. We got John Avery, Jimmy Johnson, John Avery. Really? John Avery. And this is no slight on John Avery, but let's just compare. John Avery probably today is working at UPS or at the mall or Price Right. I don't know what the hell he's doing. And what did Randy Moss do? Hall of Fame career with the Vikings. Could have been with the Dolphins. I mean, we've seen it. We traded up to get Deion Jordan. How'd that work out? I remember my friend that used to work with Titus, a big Dolphins fan. He went out and bought a Deion Jordan jersey. Know what I used to tell him? Just say it was Jordan 95 for the Bulls. He just was awkward.
Yeah.
Because I said that dude was trash. I said, don't throw the jersey away. It says 95 and Jordan. Just tell us the year they won, the Bulls came back, 95. They won the title.
Now, back in the 80s, I loved Mark Duper, Mark Clayton.
Oh, of course. Who didn't?
Oh,
listen,
Dan Marino, that was fun.
My father, rest his soul, was a big Minnesota Vikings fan. And I grew up in a house where my brothers Marcus, Wayne, and Warren, Steelers. My sister Kelly was Dallas. My brother Maurice was Raiders. And my brother Dale was Vikings. So we had beefs in the house all the time. So me being the only one who was a Dolphin fan in 1970 as a 6-year-old, I had to watch my older brothers talking all this Steelers mess, but we were good at the time. So we really didn't have a difference of opinion because we were running stuff back then. But my dad, oh man, the Purple People Eaters, Fran Tarkenton.
$80. 80 years old.
Go on, Russell.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was just like, as Vikings were always, they were running the NFC back in the early 70s. My father was in his glories. And, everything changes. I mean, back then, everything was physical, run game, good defenses. And obviously for the NFL, TV ratings has changed. Now TV's bigger and more involved. And now it's go passing. Nobody tackles anymore. I remember you watch the Pro Bowl games, they were knocking each other silly. I can remember Sean Taylor knocking a punter into next week when he faked the punt. But they don't
forget
play.
that.
Yeah, they don't play like that no more. It's flag football. They had a beach game. The games got so watered down. But as fans, we're almost like drug addicts. We gotta have it. We gotta have it. We gotta have it. Football's year round for us, especially like you as a Packer fan, us guys as Dolphin fans, and other fans who come on the show. You like your team, you're gonna be like year round. It's embedded in you. It's not like I tell people, like Saul says, it ain't a lifestyle with us. You're a fan year round. I don't care where you go. I live in Massachusetts. I wear Dolphin stuff all the time. All the time. Whether it's a hat, whether it's a sweatshirt, whether it's a t-shirt. And I hear it all the time.
I heard somebody say Vikings and I can't call him.
Oh boy. Hang up the phone. It's a Vikings fan. He said she came calling. Hang up the phone.
Welcome to the show this morning.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the show this morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you five fellas this morning?
Good in yourself. How are you, sweetheart?
Doing good.
I'm doing good. I came on because I saw a mock by Matt Miller saying that the Dolphins should take Shedeur Sanders. How do you guys feel about that?
Shedor's not going to be there at 13. If he is, that'd be crazy.
Absolutely.
But would you guys be okay with, if he was there, would you be okay with you guys taking a quarterback in the first round?
Absolutely not.
Nope.
No, we need O-line.
Not what we still paying 160. You still paying $167 million to a quarterback that you just signed? No, not at all.
I would say if he's there at 13, somebody
right now we need.
Go ahead, Saul. I'm sorry. If
I know we need. I'm with Paul. I'm the same thing. We need offensive or defensive inferior blocking. We need that. We need interior blocking, which is a guard on either side or a lineman or somebody, because we're very thin. We got our roster is Swiss cheese right now. We need a lot of positions filled. So yeah, the quarterback is not one of them right now.
Yeah. If somebody wants to come up to 13, if Shedeur Sanders is there and they want him, yeah, we're going to hold them hostage. I'll take a bunch of picks. If somebody wants to come up to 13.
Oh, absolutely. I would love to see Sanders still there at 13. Mm-hmm. We could collect a lot of draft capital, a couple more picks for this year, next year. I mean, that would be fantastic. And if they traded all the way back to, who cares, 26, 28?
Nope, I wouldn't even care.
No, not if you can get 2 more picks this year, 2 more next year, just for that 13th pick. Hell yeah. If Shedeur Sanders falls that far, that would be absolutely fantastic for us.
And I could see somebody like if hypothetically he fell to us at 13, you can guarantee like a Pittsburgh, maybe Cleveland, or somebody else tries to get back up. Somebody's going to want that spot. I'm more than happy to give it to them if they're going to give us 3 or 4 picks.
Yeah, and I didn't even want them all this year. Give me 2 this year, 2 next year.
Yep.
And it could be 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks both years.
Yeah, we definitely need to rebuild our depth. Our depth is direly hurting. We need help on the defensive and offensive lines. We need secondary help, maybe an impact linebacker. Yep, we definitely need some reinforcements.
Being a Vikings fan, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Like, I want your honest opinion. Like, how did you guys feel about the whole Flores situation?
See, that's a situation where it depends on how much you read things and understood things and heard from players afterwards. I mean, I liked Flores as a coach because he was hard. He was no nonsense, but then come to find out from some of the players later, he was too difficult on some players. He didn't understand, you got to treat certain people are a little different than others. Some you can be really hard on and they take to it. Some you get really hard on and they just turn off. And as a coach, you got to understand that.
My thinking on
In the
Flores.
sense,
I'm sorry. Go ahead,
go ahead,
Sal.
Russ.
Okay, my thinking on
The way
Flores
I
is
look,
this. Oh, I'm sorry, Sal. Go ahead. You go first, Sal.
the way I look at things right now in just professional sports, we just seen this past week with the firing of the Denver head coach for cussing his team out as a collective unit, and then you had to sit there and see the players coach the team because they fired the coach because the coach cussed them out. It is the inmates running the asylum now. Players are a lot of players, not all, a lot of players are pussified because they can't take hard criticism or somebody screaming at them. What happens? Something happened where now hard constructive criticism is being like a negative thing. And I have a problem with that. You got $1 million babies getting paid, and then if something doesn't go their way or their right, they go complain, and then all of a sudden the coach winds up getting fired. Something's wrong with that. Now you're right, Johnny O. He did sit there and like the whole thing between Tua, we'll never know the whole story because Tua's gonna have his side, Flores gonna have his side. But in the same sense though, we just seen a hard-nosed defensive coordinator that we just had 2 years ago in Miami come to Philadelphia and help them win the Super Bowl. So where's the problem? Do guys want to sit there and actually win, or they just want to come get a check and go home? Where are we at?
You're completely right, Saul. I'm going to add a couple of things. Flores was our linebacker coach here in Massachusetts with the Patriots. So he came from a no-nonsense system. So as being his first time as a head coach, he put down a strict, program. A lot of guys in the league, like you said, are softer than cotton candy, and they don't want to have discipline. And of all places where a team needs discipline, it was in Miami. Miami's culture is a track team. We're a country club. We got all the distractions. And what he did was he changed that program. He changed the perception and made them tough in areas, certain areas. But
Right.
the problem was he got to a point where he was too much of a taskmaster. Like, I know people that would say he'd be in the same corridor as somebody, walk right past him, act like he didn't know him. He wasn't too fond of the Tua deal anyway because he didn't really want Tua, so he took it personal. And he had a big difference of opinion with Greer, because Greer did all the picking. Similar to like when Parcells was in New England. Parcells wanted to be everything, and the owner's like, no. So you remember Parcells making that statement: "How could I be the chef if you don't let me buy the groceries?" Flores is difficult, but
like back in
I'm
the
sorry.
day, Lou Holtz, he was the coach for Notre Dame. He would go out and grab a player by the face mask and drag his ass off the field.
What's funny about? I'm sorry.
And then
You know what the difference about that then and now is? Then college kids weren't getting paid.
Well, I'm just saying, like, what's his name was saying, the guy cussed players out, and boom. I mean, like I'm saying, Lou Holtz, he went out there. I'm sure there was.
So, like, in hindsight, seeing what McDaniels has done for your team, do you think you guys would have been better off keeping Flores, or was it the right move to go to McDaniels?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, it's a hard comparison because the team is totally different now than when Flores was here. I think Flores is a great defensive coordinator, and that he may never get another head coaching job, but he's a great defensive coordinator. He'll be in the league for a long time. But as a head coach, like they said, he would walk by players in the hallway and not even acknowledge them. And it's a different breed of athlete now than it was 10, 20, 30 years ago. These guys are more about the money and the lifestyle than they are about the game. Yeah, they're good at the game, so they get paid for it, but they don't want harsh criticism. They don't want somebody telling them they're wrong. And that's just, that's the way the players are now. And you need a coach. McDaniel is too soft. Flores was too hard. So you need somebody, in between that can run a tight program, but still get along with the players.
Sure.
You know, too, it's a thing that's different about now, going back 10 years. There's one major flaw that people don't realize. It's about commitment. A lot of these guys got so much money. Like Saul had brought up the Denver coach Malone. He got fired because he cussed his team out for, lallygagging, not playing defense. And this guy just won a title with the Nuggets 2 years ago. And
2 years ago.
they're a playoff team. In hindsight, you look at it and you're like, wait a minute. The inmates are running the prison. And the sad part is with social media, which is prevalent, these guys all care about fashion. They care about their brand, but yet they don't. Like I told these guys this the last time on the show, you win a Super Bowl ring, your ring's only $6,000. That's meal money. Think about that. Meal money. It is not the same as like when Marino was playing, everybody wanted to get the ring, or you being a Vikings fan, you had Randy Moss and Culpepper and Jake Reed and everybody like that. And even before that, Fran Tarkenton in the 70s and Terry Bradshaw of the Steelers. Everybody wanted to win a ring. Nobody wants to win a ring no more. It's more about, I got to get my brand on TV. I got to be on commercials. I got to get this car dealership. I got to get this. I got to get that. Everything's about off field. And then when on field happens, you're about getting their money. You care less about a ring. You don't see anybody wearing their rings. Remember back in the day, you win a ring, you wear that ring everywhere you went.
I think the thing that irritates me most about these players these days is like, get off freaking social media. I just don't like whenever it's like they're always posting to social media when they're not happy with the team.
You remember a few years back when Antonio Brown live streamed what the coach was saying in the locker room after they won the game in the playoffs?
Oh, yeah, Tomlin, when he's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and nobody knew about it. That's what I'm saying. These guys care less about the commitment and putting the work in. And I mean, sure, these guys are great athletes. Sure, they're tremendous talents. Sure, they have a lot of money. Sure, they live in a great lifestyle. But that could be gone in a blink of an eye. Remember Antonio Brown throwing his stuff off in the Tampa Bay Jets game, running off the field? What's he doing now?
Yeah, I think he's in bankruptcy.
He's in bankruptcy court. He's getting into problems. He's doing just stupid stuff.
He's a rapper, man. I thought you got the album, Russ. Come on, man.
The only thing he's rapping is Christmas gifts at the mall on the holidays. That brother ain't doing jack.
He literally, all jokes aside, he literally was performing. If I'm correct, he was literally at either Rolling Loud. Yeah, I think it was Rolling Loud in Miami, to be exact. About a month and a half ago.
I'll say this. I missed that, and I'll say this. That brother couldn't sell out a phone booth.
Hey, well, shit.
He's just bizarre, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about people who have commitments more than what got them there. Like my father used to say this all the time. If you're a great plumber, you don't go to the dentist for an oil change. Stay in your lane. If you're good at something, be good at it. I'm not saying that you can't have a side gig like, hey, you play pro football, you play pro baseball, whatever you're great at. During that season, you just commit to that. And then I'm sure you have 3 to 4 months off. Hey, if you want to put out an album in March when football season's over, and then you're getting ready for camp in June or July, you do those things. But if you're trying to race people in the Olympics during the football season, you're talking about, I got to get in this movie, I got to do this, I got to do that. That just tells me how your commitment is towards your team. You already quit on your team without saying the word quit.
Are you guys ready to move off of
Shake, what's up, Shake?
What's up, Shake?
Hey, stop talking about Tyreek Hill Sr.
I'm curious, like, are you guys ready to move off of him and just trade him and be done with him? Or do you think he should be back with the team?
And
He's
by the way,
be back.
Antonio Brown is a troll on the internet. I think that he that's what he's doing right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tyreek Hill's, he like Saul said, he said all the right things after the offseason. I mean, we got to let it play out in June because, I mean, they can trade him in June. It's not going to happen draft week or up leading to the draft. But, I mean, we're committed to so much money that is really, it's like the lesser of two evils.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, he's talented. Yeah, he does goofy stuff off the field. Yeah, he does this. Yeah, he does that. But are the Dolphins so uncommitted to say, well, we got to try and see what we can get out of them. If you just cut ties, do you have a backup plan? Which they don't, because we need to address our defense and offensive lines. It doesn't matter what Tyreek Hill says now because we're not playing now. If he was saying this in August or July leading up to the season, then I'd be a little alarmed about it. But I mean, hey, it's April. I'm not mad about it. Like I'm, to the point where, listen, I don't need the housewives of Miami to tell me what these foolish things these guys do and say. I mean, football season for us is year round, obviously, because we don't play. And you being a Vikings fan, if you look back in the day, you had this one saying this, Randy Moss did this, Robert Smith was this. It is what it is. People have anxieties. People have stresses like we all do. I mean, but I'm not going to stress about him, God forbid he don't kill nobody or do something violent to anybody. But, I mean, every week I'm getting traded here. I'm doing this. I'm not worried about that. If he's doing it,
kind of like when Randy Moss ran over that crossing guard.
He's like I said, everybody as African American men. I only can speak for African American men. You have a lot of ideas on what you should and shouldn't do. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. I'm not going to sit here and be God because I'm not. But everybody knows that when you get money, you do foolish things. Not everybody. I'm not saying everybody. But, people get to the point where they forget where they came from. And you can pick any big-time athlete who came out of nowhere, came out of the projects. I don't give a spot to anybody. I'm not knocking anybody. But, with the social media, I got to be on top of things. I got to let everybody know what I'm doing. I got to have the fanciest car. I got to live here. And all that stuff, you put all these things ahead of your talent and then your commitment wanes. I don't care that you had a hard life. Everybody's had hard lives. Everybody's had despair. Everybody's had something that's bothered them. But great athletes don't seem to forget about the work behind it. You got to put the work in. You got a God-given talent. You got to work at it.
So with the Patriots hiring Mike Vrabel and bringing in a new culture and all that, where do you guys think your Dolphins are gonna fall? Will you second, third, fourth? Like realistic, where do you fall in?
Well, I live here in Massachusetts. Yeah, Vrabel's here. He got a new culture, but it ain't gonna happen overnight because he's gonna have to have a lot of come to Jesus moments because he's got a young quarterback who's going to be really good, but he's got to fix the line both offensively and defensively for them. They got a good defense, but it's going to be about chemistry. Nobody just jumps in. They're not going 12-5. They were a 4-win team last year. They might win 7 to 8 games, maybe 6 to 7. It's going to take a while, but their owner's committed, so they'll be fine. I mean, like I said, everybody looks good now. Like I had an argument with a person. She's a Marlins fan, and she thinks they're so wonderful and they're so great. And I don't get excited about baseball in April and May. Talk to me in August. You know what I'm saying? I don't argue with people. Red Sox fans. I don't argue about baseball in August. Because I'll be there in September. Talk to me then. But then I stop getting more into football. It's good that you as fans, we all love our teams. We're all going to be, obviously we ain't sitting here saying we want our team to go 7-10. Realistically, if things work out, we could be a 10-11 win team. If not, it'll go off the rails quick. We'll be in the top 5 picks, and then it is what it is.
So if that happens, will McDaniels be on the hot seat, or do you think he will be gone?
He'll be sitting right next to you. How's that seat?
I don't really want him to sit next to me.
Oh, I don't mean it that way, sister. I'm just saying he will no longer be head coach of the Miami Dolphins. He can wear that Gucci suit and the bag and all them fancy sunglasses and eyeglasses. He'll be chilling.
Yeah.
Now he'll be on the first team to San Francisco.
I don't begrudge anybody's winning and losing. Listen, we live and die with our teams on Sundays. I remember before I retired, I was going to work on Sundays, winning, walking around like George Jefferson when the Dolphins are winning. And then when we lose, I'm the worst son of a bitch in the planet. You don't want to talk to me, women, men, I don't give a who you are, because you're so inbred into it. You're so diehard about it. Like, I remember cussing my boss out, like telling him I ain't going to do shit at work. Telling my boss this because the Dolphins lost.
Sorry, I'm asking all these questions. It's just that you guys aren't in like a that, so it's other.
There you go. We're having a hard time hearing you. It keeps going out.
Is that better?
Yeah. I thought you were in a wind tunnel.
Oh, that's not me. Hello?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
No, I
that's
was just
better.
saying,
I hear
like,
you now.
it's nice to hear from a fan base's perspective that has nothing to do with the NFC North, and since we don't really have anything to do with you guys, I just kind of wanted to get a perspective on how you guys felt about Flores, since Vikings fans love him, but like you said, we are loving him from like him being a defensive coordinator perspective, where he's not our head coach,
But plus, too, listen, it's easy to love a coach while they're there because you don't hear all the stories that goes on in the building until they leave. And that's when players come out and say, oh, this guy was great, or this guy was horrible, this guy did this guy said this. You don't hear any of that stuff till that particular coach is gone. Like, I liked Flores being tough, but, some of the players didn't, and that's ultimately who's playing the game. You're coaching, they're playing. If you don't have their respect because you're too soft or you're too hard, it's hard for those players to go out there and play for you. So it's a fine balance anymore. Football has changed so much over the last 30 years that the balance is incredible, and people don't give the coaches enough credit for that. But, I think Flores is a great defensive coordinator. I don't think he'll ever be a head coach again, but, that's my opinion. I see him staying as a defensive coordinator and doing great things, and maybe somebody will give him a chance again. Maybe they won't. Who knows? McDaniel, I think, is too soft, and we kind of found that out over the last year and a half, and players are saying, guys are showing up late for meetings, they're answering their cell phones during meetings, they're coming in whenever they want. That's just too soft. It's a culture that's not going to win.
Too, with Flores, I seen that interview with Xavier Howard on one of these shows he was on, and he said he loved Flores because of he pushed him, like he acted like he didn't exist. He was tough on him, and he wasn't a rah-rah coach. And Xavier Howard was saying how, he didn't like acknowledge him on certain things, but he said as in that way he was tough. So some people can react well to that, some people can't. I mean, everybody knows somebody that if you criticize them, they go into a shell and they're not the same person. Then there's some people you don't have to say nothing to them, and they're going to show up day in and day out, and they're tougher than nails. I mean, it is what it is. And Johnny made it casually, correct, where, yeah, he's going to probably always be a defensive coordinator. Somebody may take a shot on him. I mean, who's to say? But, I mean, with the whole thing with the NFL and trying to sue them and making it into race, that's not a good thing to do, especially when you're still in the job. So a lot of the old boy network is going to say, well, if he doesn't like me, he might try to sue me if I fire him, or if I don't say something or acquiesce to his needs, he might bring it up in the press. So a lot of people, like Charles has said and Johnny has said, it's about the brand, and the NFL don't care about nothing else but the brand. If you messing with their money, you got problems. They don't want to hear the slave in the plantation is trying to overtake the plantation. And I mean, I'm not using any racial connotations here, but you're not going to go mess with the NFL's dough. You mess with their dough, you could be out quick. Ask Colin Kaepernick. And he didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Just think about that. He said something that he didn't like, and they took it in a whole different stratosphere. So same thing with Flores. He made it into an issue where, they didn't hire me, the Broncos or the Giants didn't hire me because I was black. Maybe they didn't think you were the guy that they wanted. Everybody's went to an interview and you didn't get the job. Not if that was the case, we'd all, first time you got a job, you never left. People have been interviewed. Somebody they like something different, something they preferred more. Some people feel comfortable in a certain stance. Everybody's had that. And I mean, I like Flores with the rah-rah. He's not a high five and jumping around and fashionable wearing coach. He's tough. But that rubs wrong on certain people because some people ain't built that way.
There's planning on expanding, the NFL.
Yeah, you'll see a Super Bowl pretty soon. It'll be overseas. It's
Yeah.
coming. I told Saul that.
It's happening.
It's going to happen. Hey, before you know it, they're already weeding out regular TV football games. Everything's going to Prime. It's going to be pay-per-view like boxing soon. It's coming.
Yep.
It's bad enough that when you used to go home, you watch games on NBC, CBS, ABC, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, ESPN, Fox. Now they're starting to weed that all out. Now it's starting to be Amazon. Now it's starting to be Prime. Before you know it, it's going to be, hey, get
Netflix.
Netflix. Yep. All the stuff is starting to fade out. And then the regular consumer, the Joes and the Marys of the world who live for football, who live on a certain income or live on a certain standard of watching TV, before you know it, you're going to be watching old Mary Tyler Moore reruns and Archie Bunker and All in the Family rather than seeing you turn on your TV and watch whatever the network game is in your neighborhood.
No. There's always a way around it. I'm not trying to make our show illegal, but there's always ways around watching games, brother. Trust me.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the normal consumer. It was just be free TV.
No, I hear you. No, I do.
And now you have to get all these apps for certain channels. And, we got to get this app to watch Thursday Night Football. I watch Thursday Night Football. It's on what, Prime now?
Yeah.
I got Prime only because my girl has Amazon and then we get free Prime. But you know what I'm saying? The year before, I was like, hey, I got to order this game. It was like $9. I'm like, what? And I was like, this is crazy. And I mean, that was the only time the Dolphins were playing on a Thursday night. So I was like, listen, I got to get this.
Yeah, so pretty much football is going to be turning into baseball.
You know, like I said, we're all fans. We're going to do whatever we have to do to see it. I mean, but it all depends on the product you're seeing too. Like me and Saul have gone over this. We as well as Johnny, the Shake, all of us, we're diehard Dolphin fans, and the woman who's a diehard Vikings fan, I'm assuming. You're going to go to your stadium, hopefully once, twice, depending on your circumstances. But if they're putting out crap, listen, I'm retired. I got 2 pensions. I ain't trying to go see crap. I can see crap right in my toilet.
Well, unfortunately for me, I have my season ticket, so I fly down there every home game. So whether it's good or bad, I'm still flying down there.
Yeah. Oh, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not knocking anybody for doing that. What I'm saying is, like, I live in the Northeast. You do too, John. You live in New Jersey. Saul is in Philly. So, I mean, we base all our trips on the weather, what's going on, you know. Okay. I don't live in 60 degrees in November.
It's hard to get season tickets in Green Bay.
It's time for us to say goodbye. We appreciate y'all coming on. Come on anytime you want. Anytime we have a show, Sunday morning at 9 a.m., Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. You're more than welcome to join us anytime. We appreciate everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Huddle Sports Network. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed rest of the weekend. Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
Peace, love, and fins up, all.
Peace, love, fins up, everybody.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network on Roku and Fire Stick. This is the first place to find all the latest NFL news, trades, and rumors. If you have a Roku or Fire Stick, access your menu and locate the search bar to perform a channel search. Then simply type in Huddle Sports Network. After completing the search, this logo should appear. Then add to your menu and you're good to go. We cover all your football needs, from breaking news to trades and rumors. So join us and enjoy the sport we learn to love so much. So be sure to add Huddle Sports Network to your Roku or Fire Stick menu and keep informed of all your football news and needs. You can also find us on Facebook and of course YouTube. Thanks for supporting our journey and our passion for football.